What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna go on a little journey today. Behind me, I have the Crescent Smallie SF, newly released kayak from Crescent. It is their baby shoalie. Now there are some features in the Smallie SF that not only make it super lightweight, throw and go, but allow it to scale up for those bigger adventures like big river trips or even those big kayak tournaments that we find ourselves in on occasion. Now I'm gonna show you how to lean into the DNA of your kayak so that you can take a look at the features that your kayak has, understand what the concept of the design is, and then take it to the next level when you want to without going like crazy overweight. We all know exactly how it feels to go ahead and just like throw out our back while we're trying to load our kayaks. I'm trying to help you avoid that, but still have all the creature comforts of a big kayak in a small package. So I'm gonna do a really quick walkthrough of the Smallie as it stands today. I've already done some custom work to it, not only because I was on a photo shoot before they first launched the Smallie with Crescent, and I already had to do some mods, but also this is how I've tricked it out. My concept for this build is I wanted the Smallie to be a very paddle-centric kayak. I want to be able to fish the river with it extremely efficiently. Now for me, that means I need a motor. I need to cover a whole bunch of water to go get to those good spots that no one else can get to. But that also means being able to drag this thing, carry it maybe just without a kayak cart, just walk it down to the riverbank or drag it wherever I need to drag it, get through some of those skinny sections of the river, which means this thing needs to be lightweight. Now before I give you a walkthrough on the kayak as it stands, I'm going to show you some of the critical gear that is going to enable this build to be the best ultimate throw and go fishing kayak that you can get your hands on. You always know we're going to start with Yak Attack. It's always going to be Yak Attack when we're rigging out kayaks because they make quality product. It's fishermen, kayak fishermen specifically, making the absolute best of the best. First up is going to be the through hull wiring kit. If you need to drill a hole in your kayak and you need to have a wire going from the inside of the hull to the outside of the hull or vice versa, this is by far your best way to do that. They also make a ton of these. These are the gear tracks. They come in a lot of different sizes. These ones are metal. They are very heavy duty, but they're also low profile. I actually already have one on the kayak. It's already doing its job. This one is more of an option. I don't know if I'm going to use this one because of another product that Yak Attack makes, but I probably will put them on because there are going to be times when I either want more rods or I'm not going to bring the crate that has the rod holders. And that is going to be the padlock. So technically not always made for rods, but these actually do a really good job of holding on to rods. They're low profile, and they actually, I'll show you, they keep them at an angle where they're not going to get us hung up on trees. And if you're filming fishing adventures, it is going to be this guy right here. This is the king of kayak crates. This is the Yak Attack Black Pack Pro. This one right here is the 13 by 13. I've got only 2 rod holders on here because that is all I need. You could fit more on if you wanted to. Technically, you can get 3 on each side. Again, if you really wanted to. For me, I've already built this one out, and this is exactly how I want it. Low profile, bare minimum, nothing but what I need. And I do have a short stack for it. That may come later, but for now, this is all I'm gonna need for this kayak. Next up is something that's already on the kayak, and that is a Newport NK180 Pro. That is gonna be the motor that is on the stern, the back of this boat. I will show that to you guys in a little bit because it's already mounted on there. Nakwa. Look, this is always going to be a hack. This is a 20 amp hour battery. This is the 54 amp. This is a 20 amp. You can have 2 of these and it does almost the same thing as this 54 amp. If you want to get the most power per pound, this is absolutely the way to do it. Waterproof, flexible, tons of wiring options, and it can power just about anything. They have 10 amp hour, 4.5 amp hour, and then they got the 20 hour, and you can link them together and do 40. I do it all the time. These are phenomenal. Next up is going to be Yak Power. These are some of the coolest. I mean, when you just talk about lighting systems, wiring for any kayak, right up there with Yak Attack, it's going to be Yak Power. They make really high-end components. Everything works flawlessly together. It's a whole system. They have power switchers that you guys have seen us use on our kayaks for years on basically every build that we've done. And in this case, there was something I didn't even know on their website that totally unlocked electronics for me in this build specifically, and that is going to be this wirelessly charging phone holder. Now, do I usually need a wireless charger for my phone on a kayak? I personally do not. Some people do, but I have not. Until this build, I was trying to think of the most ultralight way that I could add electronics, especially because I'm not always going to use them. Now, there may be times when I do, but I'm not going to do it all the time. I want to use a deeper sonar, which I will show you in a second, but that deeper sonar, it basically transmits from a very small unit, transmits sonar to your phone, and that is the screen. So that draws power though, because it's Bluetooth. So in order to not drain my battery on my phone, I can use this to wirelessly charge it while I'm using the deeper sonar, and this is going to keep my weight down. Again, I'll show you that in a little bit. And this is that deeper sonar. Now this technically, I think this is the 2, the chirp, They actually have a new one, a 3. It's actually in the mail right now. I don't have it yet, but it's an easy upgrade because all you got to do is take this arm, clamp it to the side of your screw it into the side of your boat in your track, and then you just attach it to this little ball right here. But that is your entire sonar. It's like quite literally fits in the palm of your hand. It's crazy small, it's crazy light, doesn't weigh anything. When you want to charge it, all you have to do is unscrew it. Your charging port is right there. Charges in about 45 minutes. It's pretty freaking wild, honestly. So the power, it doesn't require any power of its own. You charge it and it runs on its own power, and then it goes Bluetooth to your phone, and your phone is the screen. So when I want to use this is very easy to leave on the kayak, take it off when I'm not using it. And then with the wireless phone charger from Yak Power, I have unlimited power on my phone. That to me is the height of throw and go. Now I do have an anchor wizard that I will show you on this kayak. I almost always have an anchor wizard on my kayaks. Wind is a problem, current can be a problem in the river, so I usually have an anchor wizard on my builds. I will show you guys that when I do the walkthrough on the hull. Now anytime your phone is out and about doing something on a kayak and not secure in a pocket or a bag somewhere, you don't want to lose your stuff. I bought this Rogue. This is called the Shield. It's a very thin plate. You can see that right there. It actually slips in behind your phone case, and then there's just this little tether to hold on to it, and you can clip it wherever you want. I have this because if I'm going to be using my phone as my electronics, it would be really easy to just whack it, either fighting a fish, knock it into the water, hit it with a paddle, whatever. And so if that does happen, I really want to make sure I'm not losing my phone. This is a really cheap way to do that, low profile, and does not interfere with the wireless charging. Now, if you've ever used a Newport, you also know that they use Anderson connectors to connect the motor to the battery, to the cable for the battery. If you've not used an Anderson connector, it can be a little intimidating at first glance, but really it's just a plug. That's really all it is. So I bought a couple connectors off of Amazon. This is what an Anderson connector looks like. It's got your positive and your negative, so your black and your red, and then you can use it to attach to things like the Dakota lithium battery, but it also makes connecting and disconnecting very easy. So one thing that I would like to do is have the ability to take almost everything off of this kayak so they can stay ultralight and remain a throw and go when I want to just have nothing but a paddle and go float the river. That means I need to be able to take anything out of the kayak quickly and easily. That's where the Anderson connector comes in. So I'm going to use these Anderson connectors to just basically plug and unplug. That it really is that easy. All you're doing is plugging and unplugging. You get a waterproof, very secure connection with these Anderson style connectors, and this one actually will flush mount right to the inside of the kayak. So those are some of the products that are going to go ahead and make this build, again, ultralight, throw and go, but also be able to scale up to be a little mini ultralight tournament rig and have all the things and bells and whistles when I want them. Let's go ahead and I'll show you what I've done already, and then I will snap my fingers like this, and then we'll go and I'll install everything till midnight tonight Eastern, and then I'll give you guys the wrap up. So I'm actually sitting in the seat of my kayak right now, and this is that anchor wizard. It is just the most easy, simple, low profile way to have an anchor retractable on your kayak. And attached to that anchor wizard, for the first time, I'm actually using the tube that it comes with. You'll also notice these notches. These are actually made to hold roto grips for your paddle. I personally cannot stand how close these are to my feet. As you can see, if you were standing up or sitting, these would be like right at your heels. I do not like that at all, but that made this a really convenient way to mount a Yak Attack universal mounting kit and then mount my controller unit for my Newport. So it's super close and it's out of the way of my paddle. I've really enjoyed having it right there. And if we go all the way back, what are we gonna end up with? You guessed it, it is the NK180 Pro from Newport, which that absolutely pushes this thing no problem. You can hit 5 miles an hour, no problem, in a lightweight kayak like the Smallie that is truly meant to be paddled. Now this is a huge win, and one of the key things with the Smallie is pre-plumbed. And by pre-plumbed, this is for your foot steering. So this is that cable that runs all the way up to those foot pegs. There's a tube that runs from here inside the hull all the way up to right here and on the other side. So that's where your line pops out. Not the easiest thing in the world to set up, but once you get that line through there, that just makes a really clean setup. Let's get the rest of this build done. I'm gonna install all this stuff and I will show you how it turned out. After 1 or 2 late night sessions, we've got everything else that we wanted rigged in this kayak exactly the way that we thought it would. Very few things changed, which I did not see coming. Usually, there's a couple of curveballs and you gotta adapt. We didn't have to do too much of that on this build. The real question is, did we do what we set out to do, which was make a kayak that Had all the amenities that you want on a big scale tournament kayak, but also in a couple of seconds be stripped down to just a paddle, a PFD, and the kayak. I think we absolutely did that. I'm going to walk you bow to stern, front to back, and we're going to show you exactly the mods we made, and I'm going to show you how everything can be pulled off. I even got the good lights out for you guys, and I'm gonna move them as we go. All right, so the bow hatch of this kayak pops open like so, and all I have in here right now is the battery. Now, we talked about making things come in and out because yes, you may want the big battery, but sometimes you may not. This is a flexible throw and go kayak, so if I don't want a 24 volt, 50 amp hour battery, this one specifically from Newport, if I don't want that, I installed this right here. This is an Anderson Quick Connect plug system. It sounds way fancier than this. It's a plug, and that's it. The battery can come out now. Check it out. Boom, battery removed. Now the way that this works, this comes pre-assembled from Amazon. It's got the tower connectors, and the Anderson plug is wired up. 8 gauge wire, all I have to do is connect it there. Boom, boom, done. This little rubber housing, I actually already had this from another build. This was just convenience. I put it on because I didn't want to waste it. You don't need to have it, but it's kind of nice. Now this I had to rig up myself. So I bought an Anderson plug. It's basically the exact same thing as this. You find them on Amazon. You can buy singles. And then all I had to do was connect it to these cables here. It was actually pretty simple. I will leave a link in the description to these Anderson plugs. It's a little bit of wiring and a little bit of work, but it's really not that hard. And the benefit is you get a waterproof connector that can easily be like assembled like so, and when you don't want it, it comes right out. I do, however, have to find a way to connect this here. I'm probably just gonna drill a hole right here, put a little loop, and then just connect this cable, because what I don't want is this thing flopping around all the way to the back of the kayak. Small problem, but still an ingenious solution. Powered up. Now I'm gonna slide you this way a smidge so you can check out the Anchor Wizard. All right, now you guys have seen us use the Anchor Wizard system before. If you haven't, here, all I have to do is turn this to the left, and the anchor is released. Then when you want to bring that back up, all you have to do is turn this the other way, and the anchor comes right back up. It's super smooth. And all I had to do was drill 3 holes in this exact Yak Attack gear track and bolt it onto the front of this. Now this is gonna live on the kayak forever, which is totally fine with me. Now if I wanna take this off, there's just 2 T-bolts that go into this gear track and hold this Anchor Wizard in place. If I really wanna take this off, I just grab a hex wrench, bolt 1, bolt 2, they both pop off in a couple of seconds. This whole housing comes off, and then the Anchor Wizard's even easier to take off. It's just 2 thumb screws. Now this cockpit to me is like the coup de grace of being flexible, but also functional. We've got a couple of different components here. Again, all of them can be removed very easily. I'll start with this right here. This is the Yak Power phone charger that you guys saw. It wirelessly charges your phone, which is super convenient when you're using the electronics that I'll show you in a second. Keeps your battery charged even though I'm using Bluetooth/Wi-Fi to connect to the Sonar unit. That means I have unlimited power, which is a huge deal if you're gonna be running long trips, multi-day trips, whatever it is. It also functions as a place for you to keep your phone in your face, but be able to move it out of the way or around as needed. Now this comes with its own little track, and there's already a hole here that matches the bolt that it came with for you to mount it inside the Crescent Smallie, which made this install about 25 seconds. I just tightened down the screwdriver and snapped it in place. Check this out. It's actually the same housing as a GoPro, so you just squeeze one side, boom, the thing comes right off. And because I'm hooking it up to a Naqua battery, the Naqua battery actually fits right underneath the seat. So this whole unit comes out that easily. The connection point's really simple. This is all you have to do. Boom, and you're lit, which is sick. Now, admittedly, I have been having problems because this Naqua has a regulator in it that is stopping this from maintaining the battery. Right now, I just use a power bank. Any power bank on Amazon, they're very inexpensive. They're about 20 bucks. They're even cheaper than the Naqua, but not all of them, or not most of them, are not waterproof. So having it under the seat in a waterproof bag is a very simple solution for this, and it's worked very well. I have no problem with that. Ideally though, I would use the Naqua. What I may still do is grab this accessory from Yak Power. You can see right in that picture right there. It basically is just a plug that will be right next to this right here, and then the wire will go up to the front where the batteries are, or in the back, whatever you choose. And then there is a regulator on there that would allow this to work. This is a solvable problem. When I figure it out, I'll provide an update on this channel and I will let you guys know. But for now, this still works. It's just not exactly the way I thought it would be. This is the one thing that we had to actually modify from our original plan. This is still a great solution and is going to power the electronics no problem. I'm super hyped for it and can't wait to show you guys on the water. Now, one other fun little tip is I got a different phone case just for this Rogue Tether. This is a very inexpensive Rogue Tether. It's just a very thin plate that goes inside your phone case, and this pops out of the charging port. You connect this to whatever you want, and then your phone not only can use its charging port, but also can connect to that wirelessly without the whole like back webbing getting in the way. The normal Rogue phone holders are quite nice. This one just worked for this specific purpose very well. I will leave a link to this below as well. Again, I'm not making money off this. It's just the perfect solution. I will show you how it works. Here is my phone. It's got a case. All I do is take the case off like this. First science, because no one wants to do this every day. Take your phone off. All you gotta do is unattach this right here. You slide this. See that hole in the bottom of your charging port? You just slide this little tab through there, like that. Look how slick that is. Put your phone back in. Now you've got a miniature D-ring right there at the bottom, sticking right out. It's so small it's hard to even see. There you go. Miniature D-ring hanging out at the bottom. You just tether to that. Put your phone in the wireless charger. Dude, this thing has an auto grab feature. How sick is that? And then you just attach it to something. You can attach it to the back of this, or I've got a little bungee right here. And now, if something crazy were to happen, even though this is very secure, if I were to take this out and it would fall, I would be tethered, and this would not be lost. I need this super bad. These are not free. They're very expensive. Now I have to zoom in here. I got to turn the camera again because I want to show you the Newport controller unit, how I mounted that, and I want to show you this custom Footpeg steering. It turned out incredible. All right, so this is that Footpeg system. These are on those rollers. Check out how smooth that is. Unbelievably smooth, and you can adjust the tension. There are some nuts right here that you can actually tighten down and manage this if you wanted to have a little more resistance to get finer motor control, or you can loosen them up to have them be as smooth as they are here for just like really quick and easy turning. These are actually bike pegs off of Amazon. I actually have all the original components. Let me go grab them for you. All right, so these are the foot pegs. They actually fold away, as you can see here. When you don't want them, they're not in use. When you want them, you just flip them back out. These are really cheap. I'll leave a link in the description. I actually bought all the equipment necessary to make this foot steering setup for like 60 bucks, and I bought 2 sets, all on Amazon. You can't really beat that. Now these are the rollers. I basically just drilled out a hole to put this bolt through, like so. It was actually really easy. I went with the top hole, bingo bongo. That's really all that took. If you want to see how I did that, I did do a short on Instagram if you want to see it. And by the way, just to be clear, these are the 50mm rollers in the link that I sent you. There are 2 different sizes. Make sure you get the 50mm. So this is that track that I was talking about. Again, there's a link there. It's just sort of a cross shaped, and you just slide these rollers right on, like so. And they just move across like this. And again, you can make the adjustment looser, or these ones are a little tight, you can loosen them up. But that is how it should be. And then again, with the foot peg on there, that's the whole setup. Now, David Erkey, I hope I'm saying his last name right, aka Wolf of Walmart on Instagram, put me onto this setup. He works at Kayak City out in California, and holy crap, this was absolute genius. So Parker Compton is the one who did the guides, and James Snyder is the one who came up with the foot steering. I got to show you these line guides. That's this part right here that the line actually goes through before it gets to the foot pegs. Are you kidding me? This is 3D printed with a steel, there's like a steel insert, like a line guide, just like you would see in a fishing rod. These turned out incredible. Now these are one of a kind. I can't send you a link to these or put you on Amazon. Parker, if you want me to send these out to people, if you want me to point people your way, just let me know. I'm not going to do that to you. These did turn out incredible. All I had to do was, you see if there's 2 holes in here, one of these screws goes, you just put like a Yak Attack screw or a regular screw, anything that'll fit. You screw it down inside of there, it locks this thing into place, smooth as butter, and you're getting almost no drag on your line. I'll zoom it again so you can see it. It turned out incredible. It took me like 4 seconds to install, but seriously, all 3 of you guys, 1, thanks for coming up with this amazing idea. Thank you for sharing it with me, and thank you for sending us these, and thank you for sending me 2. because I'm always going to need 2 kayaks. Frankly, I probably could use 2 more because I'm probably going to put these on every kayak that I get. Now, Big Adventures has the Wizard Foot Steering Kit. It has a couple of really neat features that are a little more advanced than this one. It's also about 5 times more expensive. So if you're a DIYer and you don't mind making some homemade mods and creating something on your own, this could be an option for you. If not, just go buy the foot steering kit that Big Adventures makes. It is incredible. The Wizard foot control system, foot steering system is amazing. Go buy that and do it with no reservations. It's amazing. However, I like to mess around and find out, and I have done that, and I found out that this is sick. Now your line comes from the back of the kayak through this hole right here. This is pre-drilled, and there's a tube that runs from here all the way to the back of the kayak, making this relatively easy to thread all the way through, very easy to install. Then it goes through this line guide so it's not rubbing up against the corner, the very sharp corners of this rail, and then you're getting almost no drag on your foot steer whatsoever. Haven't had a chance to test this on the river yet. I will be doing that hopefully this weekend, but honestly, just the way that it's functioning, this is far superior to anything that I've set up before. And then all I did was just tie a knot to one of these notches on the side of this bad boy right here. Super simple. I really love this. 10 out of 10. Now, I haven't run this cable. I'm not sure if I want to run it yet. If I do, I'll probably put a hole somewhere underneath here, just a Yak Attack pass through. I'll pop this line through, but right now it's very simple to take on and off. All I have to do is unplug this here, or not because the cable's out of the kayak, and I use the Yak Attack universal mount to just boom, pull it on and off. I can switch sides, I can put it here. This gets it out of the way of my bunk board, also gets it out of the way of my foot steering, and out of the way when I'm paddling. Now you guys can see this catch board right here. There are 2 small tabs that come pre-installed on the Smallie, and they allow you to hold your catch board. So I just leave that there full time. Yes, it's disgusting underneath. Don't mind my mess, because I actually fish out of my kayaks. But yeah, you just plop these right here. Dude, check that out. I mean, that's a turn measurement. I mean, that's it. That's all you really need. You're getting a perfect measure every time. Now I really want to hide this cable probably right here, get it out of the way of my measuring, but dude, check that out. Boom. And people will do it like this. I hate this because you're going to lose fish. I don't like that. So I always measure mine at an angle. Fish comes down this way, really helps with taking a clean photo. You do you. This will hold the Yak Attack one, but it won't. The kayak will not accept it right here. It's only going to hold the catch board. And actually the metal ones, you have to unscrew the screws a little bit. It's actually designed for the plastic catch bump boards. One thing I do want to mention while I'm very easily moving things around my shop is this cart right here. This is the Suspends cart. That's with a Z. You'll have a link to this one too. Look at how easily this is. These are really lightweight. They have casters at the bottom. They lock, which is really nice. Check this out. There are tables. So each cart has 1 pouch and 1 table. The table, there's actually one on the other side, and there's a pouch on the other side of this one. So you get 2 tables, 2 pouches. Dude, gigantic work pouch. I was putting my tools in here while I was working on this kayak. I wasn't losing them all. It was incredible. And then most of the stuff that I was using was here. And these actually do fold up. The weight capacity, I think, is over 300 pounds, which is pretty freaking good. And like I said, you take this part off right here. It's just some 2 Velcro strips. These fold up and you can hang them up on your wall when you're not using them. What a godsend, honestly. Even I have a whole other cart, gigantic, massive, heavy, while convenient for loading and long-term storage. This also does that. It's just way lighter, way smoother, and with these like added accessories, it makes working on my kayaks and kayak builds so much easier. I know this sounds like a commercial. I don't care. These are sick. Fight me in the comments. You're welcome if you get one. These are amazing. Again, I don't make a dime. There's no the link is just a link to the website. You can Google it, buy it or don't, but these are cool even if you do or do not buy this. Now, one mod I'm really proud of is this flush mount plug-in for the Newport. So the battery that I showed you, that cable that was all the way up at the front, it comes all the way back here. All I did was I attached that white cable using, I'll actually show you them. So this plug already has these 2 cables attached to it. All I had to do was cut a rectangle hole in the kayak, push this through it, bolt it on. You can see right there, there's 4 bolts. Bolt it on with those 4 bolts, and then attach this cable runs all the way to the front to the battery. I used these are solder connectors. All you have to do is slide this up here like so, twist the 2 wires together, slide it back on, and I used a heat gun to melt it. Super, super tough connection. I absolutely love this. These are worth the price of admission. I hate doing this because it's another link. I will leave a link to Amazon where you can find these ones. These are 8 gauge. Get the gauge for the wire you have. These are sick, but you do need a heat gun. You need to heat these bad boys up for real. So what is this whole thing even doing? Well, when I want to run my motor or I want to disconnect it, now, normally I would just have cables all over the decking. I like decluttering that a little bit. I also hate this reverse cable. I would love to get rid of it, but it is what it is. Oh, and then these are the steering cables. They go right back through there all the way to the front of the hole. Just wanted to show you that. So what do we want to do? I want to power my motor. All I have to do now is do this. It's plugged in and it's waterproof. Check this out. That motor is running. You can hear it. I hope I don't chop my face off. And then when you're done with the motor, waterproof, out of the way, clean, clean, clean. I love this. Now before I get into this thing, let's go down and look at this guy right here. What the heck is that? All right, this little gem right here is the deeper sonar. That's a close look. This is the whole electronics thing. This is your transducer. This is the battery for the transducer. It's all right here. Now it's on this arm. This is actually sold by Deeper. And it's totally movable, flexible. It's very well mounted, not going anywhere. You're gonna be just fine if you hit something. All it's gonna do is go up like that. Like it's just gonna move out of the way. This is not something to be concerned about, and it does change depth with water. So you put this actually a little lower under the water, this thing floats, and it floats up like so. This is a very elegant, simple solution for electronics. Now it mounts to your phone, which honestly, with that Yak Power charger, wireless charger too, you don't need to freaking plug it in. That is a dangerous combo. It's light, it's fast, it's simple, and when you don't want it, it's so easy to take off. This is just on the track. It's mounted on the track, takes 2 seconds to take this thing off. I have reviewed this in the past and I have said, you know what? It works really well. I was actually shocked how well this specific one worked. But I was like, I don't know, bank anglers, you gotta bring another rod, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of poo-pooed some things. I was like, it could be good for some people. This is perfect case. Now, if you're a carp angler, I don't really know if there's a more useful tool for you. If you're a carp angler, you probably need to have one of these. But dude, for a lightweight kayak mod like this is phenomenal. I'm getting the new version. So I got another version, the newest one coming, but all you have to do is log into the app on your phone, and boom, it's working. And it's connected, and again, with that battery charger, chef's kiss. Now that is sick, but let's go look at the storage that we have in the back and what crate we used. All right, so now we're here at the back of the kayak for storage. I have opted for the Yak Attack 13 by 13 with no short stack. Why no short stack, you say? Because I don't need it. It'd be too dang tall. It's not worth it. It's not needed. I'm going light, throw, and go. Yes, you could have another rod holder. I've only done 2. Again, not needed. Now, I do have a lighter crate I want to show you in a second. The only reason I haven't used it is, even though this is a little on the heavier side with all the accessories, a couple things it does really well. One, if you were to flip, it has a lid. I'm not losing my stuff. 2, it'll hold your rod holders down. I'm not losing my rods. I don't like to lose rods. I just did it a couple weeks ago. I'm still salty about it. But the main thing is I mount my camera back here. So you guys have asked for that over-the-shoulder perspective. God, that 13 by 13 fits snug as a bug. But seriously, you guys have asked for that perspective, so I can actually mount my boomstick to the back and give you that perspective very easily. Again, mod, throw, go, simple, smooth. We like that on this build. So that is on and off, super easy. So when I am filming, that's why I will be using that. But if I'm not filming and it's just for me fishing for fun, rare, but it does happen, I would opt for something a little lighter. I absolutely love this crate. This is the Evolution kayak fishing crate. It's soft-sided. It's very modular. 2 rod holders in the back, hard waterproof bottom, and actually the handle is just this clip. So it actually keeps all of your tackle boxes like locked in, and the handle doing double duty as like the lid and the carry handle. I love. This thing is extremely sturdy. The side actually holds 3600 size boxes and straps them in with a little Velcro strap. So you slide those guys in right there. Does it go all the way down? It should. That's what that is. All the straps are getting in the way. So this does hold 3600 size boxes and straps them down so you can't really lose them. I love that feature personally. And then for the rest of your stuff, as long as you orient it in this direction, this snaps over and it's gonna be pretty dang hard for a box to fall out of there. Lightweight, throw and go, bring it if you want or don't, I don't care. Buy whatever one makes you happy. I don't care. Now that is the walkthrough of my Smallie SF from Crescent, new release kayak. Honestly, it's been a pleasure to fish out of thus far, and the more I get used to it, the more time I spend in it, the more I've come to appreciate the simplicity and the lightweight nature of this kayak. Frankly, I love this build, but even this is sometimes going to be too much. Most of the time, I'm probably not bringing the electronics. I'm not bringing anything but maybe the crate and the motor. Now the motor, I get it. It's a lot, but I will tell you this. Motoring upriver and exploring areas that you could not otherwise get to without the motor because of things like private access is a massive win. It's just massive. It's totally worth the extra weight. And actually with the battery trimmed out, this thing is it's so much more stable. I feel so much more confident paddling in it. So it's wins on wins on wins. It's gonna be hard not to do. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, sticking with me as I do this build. Please, if you have questions about this kayak or any builds or any of the things that I've done or that we've done on any of our kayaks, ask us those questions. Leave a comment down below. We check out every single comment. I swear, every single one, and we answer all of them. If you have a question, we want to be a resource for you as you're building out your kayaks or as you're shopping for a kayak or trying to find a solution for a tricky problem. We'll help you problem solve to the best of our abilities. We want to be that resource for you. You can also join our lives Wednesdays, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. While we're live on there, pop a question in chat. We try and answer all of them, and sometimes we'll even make a discussion point on the show. We'll go back and forth. You ask the questions, we give you answers. We have a lot of fun. Again, thanks for checking out this video. We'll catch you on the next one. See y'all.